OK, well, we're going to move on now to Thursday's Telegraph. Suella Braverman looks like she's being targeted already by the opposition, Nick.
Yeah, well, Lord Gavin Barwell has said that he would not have hired or rehired Suella Braverman. And some people have criticised this, that people are going absolutely mad on Twitter about it. People like Simon Sharma and the Caroline Lucas type, the liberal media types and politicians and so on. It seems to have really wound them up.
Is this because of this potential security breach?
Yeah, so, well, that's one reason. That's the ostensible reason, but they just don't like Suella Braverman, basically. So Starmer talked about it in PMQs. He said that, look, you've got this person who deliberately pinged around these emails. I don't know if it was deliberate or not. I don't think anyone really cares about the email issue. I mean, as Dominic Cummings says, it happens all the time. Yeah. What was a better accusation was that he's pointing out that Starmer, or he's alleging that Sunak has made a sort of deal with Suella Braverman. You can have your job back if you back me, because she's suddenly backed Rishi, which some people were surprised by. And that's got a bit more weight to it. But I think it's a shrewd appointment because of the reasons we've just said. People are concerned about immigration, mass immigration, and especially illegal immigration. And Braverman is someone who is tough on that. So what Rishi's done, he's come in, he knows he's more on the sort of what the sort of blob, I don't want to say globalist, the Remainer blob side of the party. Well, he's not a Remainer, he's a Brexiteer, weirdly, but he's seen as sort of being on the sort of one nation, what would you call, whatever that side is, the slight left of the party. So he's brought in people like Kemi, Badenoch and Suella Braverman to sort of have a balanced cabinet, and I think it's a good idea.
Leo, on that, do you think the cabinet appointments have been a positive step?
Yeah, I mean, it is an attempt to sort of hold the party together. So, you know, Suella Braverman represents the sort of ERG, the European Research Group side of the party. And, you know, the difficulty for Rishi is going to be holding the party together. But it's ridiculous. Some of the criticism that's come out for Rishi's new government, people on the left are saying it's an extreme far-right party, but it's barely to the right of New Labour. It's a nonsense. So Bridget Phillipson, the Shadow Education Secretary, has said, you know, one moment Rishi Sunak is telling us he'll lead a government of integrity. The next moment he's appointing someone back into the cabinet who'd been sacked only the week before for a serious breach of security and a breach of the ministerial code. There was a couple of emails, like you said, and she wasn't sacked.
So
she resigned.
What's going on here? Why is there this sort of constant hyperbole in political discourse now? It feels like they could have Che Guevara on the front bench. They'd still say it's an extreme right-wing party.
They're going to get a shock when the UK goes through its sort of Italian or Swedish convulsion and gets an actually right-wing party in power.
Yeah, it's probably what happens because we don't have PR. But it's Caroline Lucas on Twitter called it terrifyingly right-wing. I mean, and Alistair Campbell said this is going to be a very right-wing government, just as I feared. And my theory on it is that they sort of know it's not. My theory is that they're terrified of it shifting even an inch to the right in the Overton window, so they just scream whenever anything gets slightly right.
Is it just that politicians are starting to behave in the way that people do on Twitter now? Like, there used to be a sort of a barrier between those two modes of behaviour, and now it seems as though they're just emulating that kind of screaming, hyperbolic, just shrill nonsense. This isn't how politicians are meant to debate.
Well, Caroline Lucas is in the Green Party, so it's normal for them.
Well, let's move on now to Thursday's Mirror. With all